have some governors in states where abortion would be banned almost entirely that say that they don't want Republicans to push for a national ban on abortion. Thank you to the founding sponsor of unDivided, 1530 Mortgage. Visit them at 1530mortgage.com. I want to take a minute today to really just take a pause and reflect on the debate around the likely reversal of Roe and what's true about the debate and what's not true about the debate and really what it means for the country. Let's just talk quickly about the decision that, of course, came from this leaked draft that Politico got a hold of. And really if this is the decision they're ultimately going to make, what it does is put the issue of abortion back into the hands of states. So states can decide on a state-by-state basis what they want restrictions to be like, if any, in their state. And for justices who fell on the side of reversing Roe, their argument is really that it wasn't a constitutional issue for the Supreme Court to decide in the first place. This is from the majority opinion in the leaked draft. It notes that the Constitution makes no reference to abortion, and no such right is implicitly protected by any constitutional provision, including the one on which the defenders of Roe and Casey now chiefly rely, the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. That provision has been held to guarantee some rights that are not mentioned in the Constitution, but any such right must be, quote, deeply rooted in this nation's history and tradition, and, quote, implicit in the concept of ordered liberty. The right to abortion does not fall within this category. The draft decision goes on to say, until the latter part of the 20th century, such right was entirely unknown in American law. Indeed, when the 14th Amendment was adopted, 3/4 of the states made abortion a crime at all stages of pregnancy. So again, this isn't the Supreme Court deciding to ban abortion. This is them deciding that it wasn't a constitutional issue for the court to decide in the first place. And it is a decision that should be in the hands of the people via their elected representatives. However, there is some truth to the assertion that this will result in an abortion ban. We already know that there are 13 states in the US with what are called trigger laws. That means that they have laws passed and in place to ban abortion should Roe be reversed. Those states are Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Texas. Now, the deeper red the state, the more strict the ban on abortion in those states is going to be when Roe v. Wade falls, if it does. For instance, in those deep red states, you have bans that do not allow for exceptions in the case of incest or rape. The only exceptions, by and large, that exist are an exception if there's a medical emergency or the life of the mother is at risk. In lighter red states, still there would be really strict abortion bans in those states, but they do include rape and incest among the exceptions to those bans. So when you hear someone say that the reversal of Roe is a ban on abortion, that could be true depending on what state that you live in. Also, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said in an interview with USA Today that it is possible that Republicans, if they were to retake the chambers in Congress, that they could push for a national ban on abortion. Although he said the discussion around that would be premature. And you have some governors in states where abortion would be banned almost entirely that say that they don't want Republicans to push for a national ban on abortion. For instance, the governor of Arkansas.
I think that's inconsistent with what we've been fighting for 4 decades, which is that we wanted the Roe versus Wade reversed and the authority to return to the states. And so, as a matter of principle, that's where it should be.
And so you do have even Republican leaders who are very much in favor of a ban on abortion saying that they're not interested in having something codified at the national level. Now, let's look at another claim that's been made about the possible reversal of Roe v. Wade. Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington State, chair of the Progressive Caucus in the House, has called this government-mandated pregnancy. And some folks have called that a lie, basically saying that it's fear-mongering. However, I will say in certain states, it's hard to deny that there would be government-mandated pregnancy. For instance, in some of those deep red states that I mentioned that have trigger laws that do not give exceptions in the cases of rape. You can have women who were raped, did not make a decision to have sex, and then would be mandated by the government to carry that pregnancy to term. It's hard to argue with the fact that that would indeed be government-mandated pregnancy. A woman who did not make the decision to have sex was raped, but then is being mandated by the government under penalty of law to carry that pregnancy to term. So in that narrow sense, yes, in those instances, in those states, that would be government mandated pregnancy. However, it doesn't account for the fact that you can have women who go to other states where there aren't bans on abortion to be able to have one. There's nothing that would preclude that. So when we really consider what a reversal of Roe would actually mean for the United States, if you cut out all the hyperbole, all the noise, what it would result in is a patchwork of abortion laws across the country. Some of them far more strict than others. And yes, if you had a woman in one of those deep red states who wanted to get an abortion, in most cases, that woman would have to travel to a different state to be able to obtain it. If you like videos like this, be sure to become an unDivided subscriber to help us build this movement to give common sense a comeback. You can do that at patreon.com/undivided or by becoming a contributor on my locals community, brandikruse.locals.com. Thank you to the founding sponsor of unDivided, 1530 Mortgage. Visit them at 1530mortgage.com.